Hey guys, I hope everyone is doing well. Welcome to episode 2 of Ed Vlog. I'm going to stick with this format, certainly for the time being, to see how it plays out. So, yeah, thank you to everyone that gave feedback on the first episode. Thought a bit of a pilot, bit of a trial, not a million miles different from previous content. I think just kind of introducing some other types of media, specifically stuff I've been watching, and also giving a bit more focus to places I've been or going to visit, and also shout outs as well, which they were kind of, I think, falling a little bit behind. So they're going to be a bit more front and center. I've made a little tweak, and the eagle-eyed amongst you may have noticed it, probably not, to the thumbnail. And basically I think I had like watch in there as one of the chapter headings, but wanted to broaden it a bit because I was thinking like books or comics and other stuff like ready bits to include from time to time. So I've changed it to look. And without further ado, let's get stuck into what I've been up to in the last couple of weeks. And starting off with stuff that I've been playing, I know probably most of the world, the gaming universe, has been playing the new Zelda game, Tears of the Kingdom. And I bought it, I kind of done the tutorial and started on it, but through work and other distractions, I just haven't had any kind of meaningful time to really get stuck into it. So, and also my Switch is up here, and on an evening I'm typically downstairs with family, and I've got a few other kind of systems and consoles down there. So I didn't want to kind of dip in and dip out of Zelda. I'm probably going to wait until I've got a nice concrete few hours to get stuck into it, and then hopefully enjoy what everyone's been enjoying, because it's only really had very, very high praise. I think originally people were saying it's another download or a bit of add-on to Breath of the Wild, but it sounds through like certainly some of the new like game mechanics, features, and being able to pick stuff up and join stuff together to explore other areas, and a few other items. And obviously there seems to be more stuff going on up in the skies. It seems, from what I've read, from what I've listened to, and other kind of YouTube content, to be frank, and watching that, people seem to be getting something from it, which is awesome. But with me, I've been haven't had time for that, and I've been focusing on PC Engine, and I'm just going to go for a couple of games, and like I say, they kind of switch on, play, switch off, move on to other stuff. And the first one was a game. I haven't had it for too long. It's a game that I'm not kind of familiar with. We just get stuck straight into it, and it's Red Alert. It's a CD-ROM PC Engine game, and so so it benefits from nice groovy like soundtrack and sound effects, more little cutscenes and things. But it's pretty decent. It's probably best described as like a bit of a commando type game, top down. You're traveling around the areas, as you would have seen from the cover. You're playing some like John Rambo, maybe a bootleg John, type character, top down, going around picking up weapons galore. There's a bit of power ups to explore. Quite a few enemies. I wouldn't say loads of varieties with the enemies, but enough to keep things interesting. But they do. There's kind of infinite waves, so to speak. So if you stay stationary in the same spot, you're going to keep coming, get wave after wave. So you need to get through the level at a good pace. I probably make it about level 3 or 4, and that's kind of my game over. But I need to go back and get a bit better at it. There's typically, even the first level is a bit of an intro. It's fairly straightforward. You go around. I think there's a boss at the end holding a hostage, but it didn't seem to make any difference. I could blast through the hostage and still take some damage off the boss. So hey ho, it is what it is. And then I think at the second level, you're planting bombs. You're going through a bit of a I don't think it's quite an airfield, probably like a hangar, and there's enemy planes, and you've got to plant all the bombs. So once you plant the bombs, you get to the exit, and again you've got another boss there, and so on and so forth. So if you're into those kind of games, it's pretty decent. Just a bit cheesy. A bit of fun. So that was the first one I've been playing. And then the second one, yeah, classic. But the first time I've really played it on the PC Engine, the first time I played this game was on my cousin's Game Gear, and since then, PC and a few other versions. But yeah, got it for the PC Engine. And it's Prince of Persia. Again, it's another CD game. So what it does benefit. The graphics do look a lot nicer than some of the other versions I've played. I mean, particularly kind of comparing it to what the Game Gear version. It's really nice sprites, but the soundtrack, of course, it's going to have that kind of Aladdin vibe to it. But yeah, really, really good game, and a game never put that much time into. To be honest, it's one of those you fall down a pit, you fall too far, or the spikes get you, or you get taken out by one of the guards. Then you're pretty much straight back to the start of the level when there's like a timer that goes down, and which adds a little bit of pressure. But I'm actually really enjoying it. Very visually it's very simple to look at, but again the game mechanics are quite nice, and you kind of work your way around. And I oddly kind of remembered where some of the traps are, and there's certain pressure points on the floor which kind of bring the gates down, so you need to kind of run through, bit Indiana Jones style, to get to the next bit. You get your sword and you go back, and blah 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 blah. So that's been good. So yeah, just a couple of games I've been playing in the last couple of weeks. So what have I been reading? What have I been watching? I just pick on one film I watched this week. It's a film that I haven't seen since it originally came out. I think it's about 10 years old. I know time has the habit of flying by pretty rapidly. But based on some comic books, or a lot of comic books that I've been getting more and more into. There was a film that was done prior to this one with Sylvester Stallone, and it was way too much comedy. It was a bit of fun, but not all that, particularly compared to this one. So the film I'm talking about is Dread, and you have Carl Urban. It's very, very, very gritty. It's dark. It's certainly in keeping with the comic books. Almost has a bit of a RoboCop violence vibe to it, in terms of it is, let's say how it is. There's blood and guts, and everything is going on screen. Limited thinking required. It's just to sit down, enjoy, have a beer, whatever, have a Pepsi Max or whatever your tipple is, and just enjoy a bit of ultra violence. It's really, really good film. Hadn't realised at the time, perhaps because maybe it started yet, or maybe it was about to start, but it's got, I'm going to pronounce it wrong. Is it Lena or Lena Headey, who is in Game of Thrones? So she is the baddie, the ultimate kind of enemy of the this gang that's taking over the tower block. And Dredd, his partner in crime, whose name escapes me, he has to kind of work through floor by floor, just taking out the gang. It's brutal, but a lot of fun. Really, really good film. So love that. And the second piece, I got a big thank you to Billy, so Car Strength Gamer, who recently, when I met up with him, did a bit of exchange of stuff, but he'd picked up a few things, but within there was like a couple of Star Wars comics. Yeah, hopefully you can see that's the first one. So it's the series of 6, and he's kind of got me 1 and 2. It's Dark Empire 2. I think it's from 94, 95, 94. But lovely condition. Droids action on the back. But yeah, I'm now going to hunt down the remaining 4, but super, super high level. It takes place, it's after Return of the Jedi. So the last one in the original trilogy, the Emperor's gone, or he's kind of gone. And it's Luke's within it. It's got a lot of the main, the original kind of characters in it, as he's trying to rebuild some of the Jedi factions. There's loads of stuff going on. So absolutely been enjoying that. Like I say, I'm now on the hunt for the other 4. So yeah, big thanks to Billy, and I'll leave a link to his channel and below. I'm sure a lot of you already subbed to him, but I'll leave details below. If you don't, go and check him out. So what has been on the boombox? To be honest, it's been a bit of a bittersweet week this week. So I think it was a couple of days ago, and I haven't really had my ears to the ground in terms of albums and who's releasing what, etc., etc. But one of my favourite bands really goes back to the fact that I was a bit of a hit the teen years and around the Britpop era. Was always loved them both, but always was a little bit more edging towards Blur than Oasis. I just thought a bit more creativity to it. In Oasis they did some banging songs and catchy tunes and all the rest of it. But and I can't play it well, but I do play a bit of guitar. And sometimes I just look at some of those Noel Gallagher little riffs, and I just it did what it needs. Obviously, a massive fan, but yeah, Blur's probably more in my DNA. And yeah, lo and behold, I don't know how many albums they've done now, but they're bringing out a new album, I think in a couple of months' time. It's got a very, very odd name, I think, or a bit of a peculiar name, which is the Ballad of Darren. I was looking into it. I was like, who the hell is this Darren guy? I think it was their kind of bodyguard when they were they kind of regrouped, probably to do tours and stuff like that. But he was their original, or one of the original bodyguards, and I think he's now Damon Albarn's bodyguard. I think, why the hell do these people need? They really need bodyguards. But anyway, it is what it is. But most importantly, they've released a single, The Narcissist, came out yesterday or the day before, and just absolutely incredible song. I'm really, really loving it. So yeah, I'm hoping a lot of the other songs will be equally impressive. But it kind of takes me back to, if you're a bit of any kind of Blur fans, or people that like a bit of Blur watching, it's kind of probably back to the the Blur album, or it was the one after, like 13. It sounds a little bit around the era. Very simple guitars, but nice catchy chorus. Just awesome to see them back together. So I've been on the telly a little bit, doing their little a few interviews. I've been watching some of them. I think they did a gig last night at a small place in Colchester, where a couple of them hail from. I think that's the Arts College there. But really, really cool. And for those, obviously you can stick it up on YouTube. But if I remember, I'll leave a little link to the official video for the single below. Otherwise I'll get a copyright strike if I try and embed it into this one. That's the thumbs up. And then the bitter side to the bittersweet is, unfortunately, Andy Rourke, who was an incredible bassist for the Smiths. Passed away. I didn't realise, but he'd had pancreatic cancer for quite some time. So he was obviously was not well. And never saw him live, but absolutely loved the music. And they had a bit of a resurgence. Obviously, but in 80s, those of you in the US, it's basically about an 80s to UK kind of pop group. Morrissey was the front man. Obviously, they went on to do solo stuff, and the band went and did a few other projects, such as was it Johnny Marr on guitar, did a few bits and some solo stuff. So he's still going, still gigging. But unfortunately, the bassist he passed away, and back in those Britpop days, a lot of the Smith songs were back in the nightclubs and stuff like that. And absolutely, bloody love them. So bass style, I can play. Like I say, I play a bit of guitar, but not particularly good on bass. But his stuff is very kind of melodic, and sometimes bass can be a bit subtle in the background. But when you take that bass out, and then the songs wouldn't sound the same. They would not be as excellent as they are. So again, if I remember, I'll leave a couple of links to some of the Smith songs, maybe a couple of my favourites. I'll put them in the description. So go and enjoy them. And hopefully, if you might already know them, or if you don't, then maybe it's something new to get into. Right. So what is on in terms of events? I think on the first Ed vlog, I spoke about the second Nottingham Video Games Expo taking place. So some details on that in the first video. So go and check that out. That's coming out. Really looking forward to that. I've seen James and Al from It's Much More and Games Re-Up doing a few like interviews on the tubes to to kind of go through, who's going to be there, the format, etc., etc. So it's really getting exciting, and not that far off. So looking forward to that. And then for me personally, next weekend, which is the bank holiday weekend in the UK, I'm going to be doing a couple of live streams, which is really, really cool. So the first one is going to be on the Friday, and again, I'll put details below. But it's with Z. I'm going to get this wrong. It used to be USR, but now it's ZSR. So it's like Zero Hundred Toys, Shabby Geek, and Roland Reviews. So those guys, I think they've just hit their 100th episode. I mean, maybe gone over that. But every Friday night, the three of them will do a live stream, a couple of hours. So UK time, it'll be about 8 p.m. till 10 p.m. And I'm going to be the one next Friday, and it's going to be covering video games. There's going to be another tuber on there. Looking forward to that. But they cover a lot of stuff, a lot of toy related things, but things that personally I have a lot of nostalgia for. Very Star Wars focused, so not just the figures, but talking about the TV shows, but anything with a bit of retro and nostalgia typically will make its way onto that. Really, really awesome live stream. They're lovely guys. They get some, I'll exclude myself, but they get some great guests on there. It's a privilege to be asked, and I've been on it a couple of times before, and really looking forward to that. So that's on the Friday, and then on the Sunday on the Swap Shop. So Lee Retro Chef, great guy, great, another really good channel, and so I'll be started to do it, making up a little bit of box of stuff I've been sorting through. So I think next Friday, Saturday, I'll be pulling together a few further bits, getting ready for that Sunday night. So I can't wait for that. And last but certainly not least, shout out. And for this episode, shout out is going to be to a channel that I've been watching for some time now, probably like a year and a half, couple of years. Again, time does fly, doesn't it? But an absolutely fantastic tuber, very, very creative, covers a whole series of things, but again, it's obviously things that I really, really like. He's a big fan of the Turtles, big fan of his Game Boy and his current series. He's going through every Game Boy game and completing every Game Boy game, doing a review, and I'm a massive Game Boy fan. I say it's the original Game Boy and Game Boy Color, so doing all of them, and there's a heck of a lot of games for both those systems. He's doing well. He's got through quite a few, and just does it in a great format. Talk about the the box art, how does that relate to the game, his views on that, and then you'll see him he'll go through the game and give commentary on key bits, what's good, what's not so good, some of the history behind it, and and absolutely fantastic. Really objective in terms of the kind of the critique. So it's certainly there's a lot of not so good games on the Game Boy, but very, very very balanced. But there's there's an absolute corkers on there, and I was lucky enough. He said that anyone if anyone's got a game they'd like me to cover off, maybe early on within the schedule, then give me a shout. And pick Gargoyle's Quest for obvious reasons. Bloody love that game, so he did that. But I think it's once a week. I think he's coming out with new vid gets released on that. But he does loads of other videos as well, talking about what he's playing, what he's into. A lot of focus at the moment on like I said, like Turtles, but like Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, his kind of views on that. Put out a really good video last couple of days around how that series is kind of progressing from what was to the 2D, the top down. There's I think it was the second one was a bit of a platformer, and how it's now into the kind of the 3D stage. And it sounds like, and it's a bit unfortunate, but Nintendo seemed to really just see the 3D era of Zelda just kind of continuing through. And I think I was hoping, and watching the video on the Ogle's channel, he was also hoping, ideally to have two things running in parallel, i.e. the 3D bit, but then perhaps another series which is still focusing on that top down exploration and fighting and all the stuff and the great ingredients that we love from some of those Zelda games. Absolutely cracking channel, great personality, such a funny guy, well humoured guy, just a pleasure to watch. So again, I'll leave a link below, but go and check him out. And that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully it's not too long a video. I thought I'd keep it fairly punchy. Do these every 2 to 3 weeks. I think I'll push out a vid just covering what I've been up to. Yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below. If you kind of seen, watched, played, got involved with any of the stuff that I've covered. If so, what do you think? What's your views? What have you been into? What have you been playing? And recommendations, things that you've watched that I should get onto my my watch list. Please give me a shout. And yeah, look forward to speaking with you all soon and probably chatting with you in the comments. All the best. Cheers.